Hi guys, welcome along to the build process on the rotating suspended feeder. Okay, so if you want to go straight to the build guide, just head to the timestamp on the screen at the moment. I'm just going to quickly take you on a run through of what this is. So basically it'll be suspended from the roof of an enclosure. So far we've tested this on Kinkajou, and what you are seeing in front of you is the updated version based on what we learnt from the trial one that we did. So essentially it's suspended from, if I just move it down, you can see the clip at the top here, so it'll be suspended from the roof by that, and then it's actually made up of 3, 4, 5, however many boxes that you want to, which contain the food. Obviously it will get more heavy and the more boxes you put onto it, so we actually went with a 3-box version, but I mean, in all honesty, you could quite happily fit 4 on this pole. So each of the boxes has a hinged lid, as you can see just here, and it has a hinged lid on the other side as well, and then the box itself has holes in the side. Now these holes can be whatever size you want, but obviously basing it on the size of the animals that you've got. You can see we've gone with 2 different sizes here, and then it's basically sealed apart from those holes, so you can put substrate in there, hide food inside the substrate if you want to, and the animals are going to come down, climb on it, and then get the food through these holes. All the while it will actually be spinning from this point at the top here under the weight of the animals. So let's get through to the instructions of how to build it. So everything actually rotates around this block here, so I'm leaving the measurements on so you can see the size timber that we used for actually making this, but it's up to you if you want to go for larger or smaller. But you can see that this block has actually got a hole in the top in the middle, and that is for the eye bolt to go down through. So on the underneath of this block you can see that it's actually hollowed out, so the eye bolt comes through, has the washers on it, and these washers are what it will spin on, so you can put some grease on those if you want to. And then most importantly, these 2 nuts just here are actually ones with like a thread inside them. When I say a thread, it's like a rubber piece which actually stops those nuts from being able to come off. So from the top view now, when that is actually suspended from this point, that whole block can rotate around this pivot point just here. Okay, so the actual blocks themselves, we use timber which is 22 by 150. Okay, so 22 deep by 150, but once again you can change that size if you want to. So this is the just the front view, and then onto the bottom of that we'll then put some more pieces of the 22 by 150. Okay, once again you can see the sizes just there. So that creates the base of the box, and then the sides of the box are made up just a little bit thicker, but you can go thinner if you want to. So we used a 49 by 69 timber, and then onto the front you've now got your piece with the holes in it, and this whole thing is then pinned in place around the main drop beam. Okay, so you can see from the bottom how that drop beam comes down in between the base pieces just here. And then onto this pole, onto the box, you then have your hinge with your 2 lids, and then importantly at the end you have a clasp, so this is what's going to hold it shut. Depending on what you're using it with, you might want to use a kind of latch where you can put a padlock through it if you want to, but we didn't need to with the Kinkajou, so these are just very simple clasps that we used. So up the rest of the pole you can see you've now got the other boxes there, and on the very top, to join that spinner block, the one which we saw in stage 1, onto the pole, you'd actually put some holes and screws down through it. But more importantly, you've actually got these 2 blocks just here, so these will actually what holds this all together. Okay, so they're very important. So then it's just a case of opening up the lids, putting in the substrate if you want to, or just popping the food straight in there, and when you're happy, close it all up, make sure it's suspended, step back and let your animals enjoy. So I hope this helps you guys. Once again, you can go back, pause it wherever you want to, but all I can say is thank you very much to our patrons that have made this this build possible and to allow us to test it and to go on to obviously create the finished design, which can now be used by keepers absolutely everywhere. So we really do appreciate your support. Thanks a lot.